We'll be discussing two skills today. One is how to take an individual's temporal temperature, and the second one is how to use a pulse oximeter. So let's begin with our thermometer. This is a temporal thermometer. This is very similar to what you may have in your home. If it's not exactly, the process is the same for just about all of our temporal thermometers. I will first walk through the process of how to take an individual's temperature, and then I will demonstrate. So you will have a power on button. You simply push that button, and then you place the thermometer on one side of the individual's forehead, and you gradually swipe across the individual's forehead. Once you get to the other side, then you release the button and read the temperature. So let me demonstrate this. I've turned my thermometer on. I'm now compressing the measure button, and I am slowly sweeping across my forehead. Once I reach this side, I release my button and read my temperature. Again, let me demonstrate that one more time. I turn my thermometer on. I place it to one side of the forehead. I slowly swipe across the individual's forehead, and once I get to the other side, I read their temperature in the LED screen. How do we maintain our thermometers? You should have alcohol wipes in your home, and after each individual use, you need to wipe the thermometer where it has come in contact with the individual. Batteries are how your thermometer are powered. You always need to have extra batteries in your home. I recommend that you maybe lock them up in the control bag if you have controlled drugs, just so that they don't walk off. But because we're using these thermometers a lot now, we always need to have replacement batteries on hand. What ranges of the temperatures for our individuals do we need to be concerned about? At any time an individual's temperature is 99.1 or above, you need to go to the MAR and you need to determine what does that individual have for a fever. Whether it may be Tylenol, whether it may be Advil, then you need to administer a dose of that medication per the MAR, whatever that MAR says. Then within an hour, hour and a half, you need to go back to the individual and see if their temperature has actually gone down or if it has gone up. At any time an individual has a temperature of 100, then we need to call 911. I have in front of me a documentation form that all of our homes are using for our 2-hour watch. A 2-hour watch does not mean that there is a positive contact in that home, perhaps. It only means that there has been some type of a contact, whether a close contact or just a trace contact. We are taking temperatures every 2 hours. And again, I can't stress the importance of documentation of their temperature, as well as when we get to their pulse ox and their pulse. If their temperature is over 100 at any time, we need to call 911 during our COVID crisis, if our homes are in that 2-hour watch. If our individuals are not perhaps in one of our homes that we're doing the 2-hour monitoring, then you need to call their physician. You need to call Station MD, or you need to call their PCP if they are not in our 2-hour watch homes. Our second skill that we're going to demonstrate today is our pulse ox. What does our pulse ox measures? It measures two things. Our first is our oxygen concentration in our blood. And the second measurement that this pulse oximeter measures is our pulse rate. How do we perform this? This is what your pulse ox looks like. It's just a big clamp. You open it up, you insert an individual's finger into the clamp, you turn the monitor on, and you lay their hand down flat either on a table, on their bed, on a chair, in their lap. And then you wait for the LED screen to read out two numbers. The first number that will be screened or will be relayed into the screening is actually their oxygen concentration. And the second number will be their pulse rate. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on this video, but you can see my first number is 97 and my second number is 97 also. When you're finished with taking the pulse off, you just unclip it and you turn it off. Why are we doing 2-hour pulse ox and pulse readings for our individuals that are in the 2-hour watch homes? COVID-19 is a respiratory disease. It's going to affect their oxygen levels. We want to be proactive in watching our individuals. And if at any time their oxygen level drops below 90, then that's a concern. If you have a reading of 90, with less than 90, I recommend these things. First of all, have them take some big breaths. If they're lying down, try to get them to sit up. Have them sit up straight so they can really expand those lungs. Take it on a second finger. Take it off of one finger and put it on a second finger. And after you've had them sit up, do some deep breathing, then check their oxygen concentration a second time. If it is less than 90, call 911. Follow the protocol that your directions say on your documentation sheet. How do I maintain my pulse ox equipment? First of all, after every use, you're going to open it up and again, use an alcohol pad and clean it out. These are also operated by a battery, so you will need to have replacement batteries of the pulse ox in your home also. Documentation is key. For individuals that are on the 2-hour watch, we are, expectation is that the temperature, the oxygen concentration, as well as the pulse are documented every 2 hours. If you need to call 911 for either the temperature or the pulse ox, then that needs to be called to your supervisor. If your supervisor is not available, then there is a hotline, CDD phone number, and you need to utilize that. Documenting what you did and when you did it is extremely important. Thank you.